Located at the foothills of the Nepal Himalayas, adjacent to the Indo-Nepal border, Motipur Kala is a village straddled by the forest of the Suheldev Wildlife Sanctuary. The village has a unique demography with more than 80% of the population belonging to the Tharu tribal community. Again, our field study and research program with a transact walk. This helped us to understand the village better. The findings aided us in conducting the social and resource mapping of the village. This was done along with the villagers. Let us discuss the economy of the village. The villagers are involved in subsistence agriculture. Due to small landholding size and landlessness, a majority of the villagers work as agricultural laborers. Both the males and females migrate to urban centers for daily wage labor. One good observation was the practice of mulching and use of cow dung for manuring crops. However, this needs to be supplemented with chemical fertilizers. They rear cattle, poultry and pigs. However, the breeds are inferior and hence they are not able to commercialize them. Pigs are particularly reared for personal consumption. A problem preference ranking exercise, and it was found that low wages, landlessness and ignorance of government schemes as the major causes of poverty. We also performed a poverty group exercise, and it was seen that wealth was concentrated among very few households. However, there are several unexplored possibilities which can generate livelihood and alleviate poverty in Motipur Kala. We observed that the community has immense traditional knowledge and indigenous products. To name a few, they have a valuable repository of traditional medicine. These medicines are derived from forest produce, and villagers use them even today. We also found a medicine colloquially called Ramras, believed to provide immunity against COVID-19. They also have a variety of handicraft items ranging from baskets, fans, mats, and other decorative items. The traditional clothing known as choli and lehenga has intricate designs and patterns. This can be incorporated in modern fashion trends. We firmly believe that these products can be promoted under the One District, One Product scheme of the government of Uttar Pradesh. Empowering self-help groups, forming producer organizations can slingshot these products even to overseas markets. It is observed that the modern construction technique is juxtaposed against traditional buildings. The ownership depicts the wealth inequality in the village. The Prime Minister Awas Yojana led to a spurt of construction activity in the village. The village has all-weather road connectivity, however, lacks any form of public transport. The major mode of transport observed were motorcycles, bicycles and bullock carts. Shortage of water is also another problem in the village. They are mostly dependent on groundwater. However, the water has very high content of metal, causing many diseases. The reservoir of the village serves as important source of irrigation water. We observed that the toilets constructed under the Swachh Bharat mission were unutilized and open defecation was also prevalent. A standalone 142 kilowatt solar power plant is used to supply electricity to the village. Upon performing problem preference ranking, housing and transport were recognized as major problems by the villagers themselves. Coming to the sphere of education, Motipur Kala has a total literacy rate of 41.4% as per 2011 census. This is despite a primary school being established in the village in 1992. The Kaya Kalp initiative of the government of Uttar Pradesh to transform classrooms via informative art on the walls to attract children to the school was launched from this very village. It is encouraging to note that new generation of parents support female education. We observe that the government schools were spread over sprawling area with adequate space for sports. Unfortunately, the basic infrastructure to teach science, experiment kits and laboratories were lacking. Good toilet infrastructure, including one toilet for differently able, was available. While the upper primary school was fully functional and populated, the senior secondary school had only class 9 and 11 attending schools. Upon touring around the village, we also found schools in dilapidated conditions where kacha floors and leaky roofs were the norm. While children showed promise in reading abilities, their comprehension skills left much to be desired. We observed adequate minimum health facility in the village. There was a proper primary health center with adequate staff and a telemedicine facility. Immunization coverage and COVID vaccination were impressive. There was regular health awareness camps organized by ASHA workers. One interesting observation was the low prevalence of malnourished children in the village. This can be attributed to their diversified diet. However, we feel regular attendance of medical personnel. Motipur Kala has a vibrant and energetic youth force. Let us listen to some of their aspirations.
सती से कक्षा से मैं पढ़ता हूँ, मैं डॉक्टर बनना चाहता हूँ।
मेरा नाम फ्रांसी है, मैं पढ़ता हूँ मोतीपुर।
क्या बनना चाहते हैं आप?
डॉक्टर।
ओह,
मेरा नाम आकाश है और ये मेरी छोटी बहन है और जिसका नाम निष्ठा है। मैं बड़ा होकर मास्टर बनना चाहता हूँ और मैं इस छोटी बहन को भी मास्टर बनते हुए देखना चाहता हूँ।
My name is विशाल विश्वकर्मा, my class 8, मैं कमांडो बनना चाहता हूँ।
मेरा नाम अमन है और मैं 1-2 में पढ़ता हूँ, बड़ा होकर पुलिस ऑफिसर बनना चाहता हूँ।
The Tharu community evolved independently without much external interference. Thanks to their residence in a remote location, this has resulted in a rich culture and tradition. One interesting observation was the practice of storing dried grains, vegetables, and fruits in bins called dehri. They claim grains can be stored for up to 20 years in it, something our Food Corporation of India can learn in grain storage. They have eco-friendly plates and decorative items which are in high demand in the urban, environment-conscious market base. An intrinsic aspect of Tharu culture is alcohol, locally known as jaan. This is made by fermentation of rice mixed with certain herbs. However, alcoholism is turning out to be a bane in the village. The incessant consumption of alcohol is causing loss of productive human capital. The Tharus also have a communal worship place where the entire community aggregate for rituals. They also have harmoniously amalgamated their traditional gods with Hindu gods and pay obeisance to both the belief system. The government welfare programs and schemes have shown mixed results. Programs like MG Narega and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and Ujjwala have faced issues in implementation process. Potential of the Swachh Bharat mission and Ayushman Bharat is also not being realized properly. Another major impediment was the identification of beneficiaries and transfer of benefits. We believe e-governance and awareness will solve this issue. Probing deeper into the issues plaguing the village, with exercises such as crossing the river and cause and effect, the community came together to give us solutions to entrenched problems. They explored social, historical, economic and political issues underlying the problems faced by the villagers. The discussion also brought out the lack of faith in Panchayati Raj institutions. Presenting the melodious voice of a Tharu villager.
मन में सोचा करम लगैया गकी लगम बदनामी हो आया मन में।
A unique village, Motipur Kala is at the crossroads between civilizations, the modern urban and traditional Tharu. As government schemes try to bring the facilities to the village, the traditional practices are dying out. The importance of environmental friendliness, sustainability and durability is lost in the progress of modern man. However, this is something we can learn from the Tharus before it is lost. India at 100 will not be just the story of Delhi, Kolkata or Bengaluru, but it will be enriched with stories of development and progress coming from villages like Motipur Kala. After all, isn't every brick important for the beauty of the Taj Mahal? This was our experience. Thank you from the team Motipur Kala.